What's up, y'all? Mike from North Carolina. So I'm going to keep going with these story times. I said I was going to continue. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Those of us who have moved away and had to move back into your parents' house or move back home, it ain't never easy. It's not something comfortable to talk about. For a lot of people at that period of time, it's depressing. And I know it was for me. That whole year and a half that I was back home after college was extremely depressing. It was very frustrating having to move back home, then having to get reaccustomed to their rules, their expectations, when you already had your own routine set up. That's what we're going to talk about. All right, so as I mentioned, I was back home for a good year and a half, right? I had been applying. Like I said, I was very depressed, trying to figure stuff out. Who wants to go back home? I really didn't. I really did not. I love my parents to death, but I didn't want to go back home. And it's no disrespect to my parents. I love them dearly, but like I said, being on your own is something different. And I'm a night out too, so that was part of it. So as I said, I was just sitting at home trying to apply different places to figure everything out. So for a year and a half, nothing really hit. Then a year and a half passes by, something does hit. So I give my family a game plan. Hey, within the next 3 to 4 months, I'm planning to move out of here. I'm going to get a car, I'm going to get a spot, and I'm gone. Didn't really believe me. Not to say they didn't really believe me, but I had been there for a year and a half already, and I've said this a couple times before, but I hadn't given them a detailed plan like I had this last time, and I explicitly explained what I was going to do. I remember having a conversation with my dad, and I was like, look, in 3 or 4 months, I'm going to have a car, I'm going to have a house, and I feel like I'm going to be married at that point in time too. Not in 3 or 4 months, but I'm at least going to get engaged. That is exactly what happened. Now, some people thought I was tripping. Some people thought I was thinking too excited or moving too fast. But honestly, I had already knew what my game plan was. I knew what the outcome was going to be. I didn't expect it to come out as smoothly as it did. But everything I said was going to happen, happened. I moved. I wasn't far from home, but I was at least out the house. I would say a good hour away from home the first time I moved out. And I stayed there for 2 years. Then there's when I moved out, like away from home. So now some of y'all might say moving out and moving away is the same thing, or at least for me in my case, moving an hour away from home. But where I'm from, that's really not much. You got to travel at least 45 minutes to get somewhere. All right, so my first actual time in my case, to me, actually moving away was moving about 3 hours away from where I was. And that took some adjustment. Even though the first couple of months we didn't come home for about 3 months, a month and a half or 2 before we came back home again to see our family. But it was an adjustment, but I love it. I really love it. Not that I don't miss my loved ones back home. Not that I don't miss being back home. Not that I don't hate to commute to and fro. It's just like having your own, figuring out who you are away from home is dope. And then moving away for us, me and my wife, moving away for us was very beneficial because, like I said, you get to figure out who you are. You get to discover new things together. It helps bring you and your partner closer together. In my case, that's what it did. Helped bring us a lot closer together. It just brought more to our learning experience together. More experiences before we have kids. We can say that we lived our life before kids. We got a chance to enjoy each other in each other's company before kids, so that once our kids grow up, we already built on a solid relationship together. We already got to experience a lot together. It's just going to be returning full time back to me and her. Does that make sense? But no, in all seriousness, moving away taught us individually and as a couple more about ourselves. It allowed us room to grow, to learn more. Like, you just learn a lot about yourself within that period of time. It challenges you. It gets you out of your comfort zone. I'm an introvert. My wife's an introvert. I don't like talking to people. I like texting. I like creating. I like creating with other people, but I am an introvert's introvert. I will be at the house. And then for me, being an introvert, being this far, forces me to reach out. Forces me to have to, hey, okay, I got to keep in contact. I got to schedule. I got to be more intent about your timing. Okay? That's what it does for me. But this is my next story time. If y'all want other ones, let me know. Different situations, what you think I might be able to tell a story about. If you know me, you want to go over a story time together, I don't know. Let me know. Mike from North Carolina.